Welcome, everybody, to this edition of the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3. And Sam and I are very happy to have Jeff Cooley as a guest tonight. And Jeff, you have multiple jobs, multiple coaching jobs at CHS.
Yeah.
Can I say that?
That's
Okay.
True. Yeah, that's
okay.
true. The track and field coach and girls soccer. So, yeah, I do a couple things out there.
Fall and spring. Spring and fall, I should say.
Spring and fall, yeah. Used to be all three, but
Okay.
I gave the basketball up a while back.
You would think that the way the weather is today, that it would be a winter sport.
Yeah, I tell you, I was just, before we went on the air, I was telling Fran that it's going to be a short little practice tonight because Coach Cooley is going to be too cold to be out there too long.
But your record is pretty good for the track and field.
Yeah, we've had a good spring so far. The boys have won a couple invitationals. They won the Newcastle Invitational Friday night. They won the Muncie Burris Invitational a few weeks ago. And the girls have placed very high in those invitationals. So, yeah, we've had a good year so far.
So you're working mostly north of Connersville teams at your meeting. You mentioned Muncie and Newcastle.
Yeah, well, no, not necessarily.
Okay,
that just happens. Like
Okay.
next week, May 9th is our conference, which is in Batesville. So it just so happened that that's the meets we've gone to. We don't really plan them out that way.
How are your competitors doing in the conference?
Well, we'll see next Tuesday.
Okay.
We have one big conference meet to see who's the top person in the conference is, the top team, I should say.
What about past conferences?
Last year, the boys finished pretty high. The girls were middle of the pack. I'd like to think that we're toward the top in both this time. But, we'll see next Tuesday.
Who shows up? Huh?
Yeah.
Seems like in all sports that our conference is always pretty competitive.
Very much so. Very much so in track and field. It's like in basketball, baseball. It's a competitive conference.
It's good. It's a good thing for us because we went for a few years without having a conference, and always good to have that, to have a goal to shoot for.
Yeah, for sure. We were at the Newcastle Invite Friday night, and Jay County was there, and Jay County coach and I were talking about the old Olympic conference days, and where we were down to 4 teams there at one point.
Right.
And it is good to have a competitive conference, kind of test yourself against. Year in and year out, you're going to get good competition in the EIAC.
And they're all within an hour. That's
Yeah,
when we were in the
maybe
Olympic
South
conference.
Dearborn, but yeah, they're all closer. A lot closer than Huntington North.
For sure.
Yeah, Lafayette, Jeff, back in those days.
Oh, yeah. That was a ploy just to break off and make their own conference when they let all them in. But
I think you're right.
But that's talk for another day.
For sure.
How are conferences formed? Who decides and so on?
Well, Fran, I'm not exactly 100% sure on that. I assume that, well, like in our case, when we went to the AC, there were only 4 teams in the Olympic conference, and that doesn't really make a good conference.
Right.
So we asked to get in the EIAC. At that time, they only had 6 teams. So Rushville and us came in, which really kind of balanced the EIAC better. 8 teams is better for track, really for any sport. But I guess you just kind of work your way in by
Athletic
asking.
directors get together?
Athletic directors will,
Okay.
they'll call and say, hey, can we get in here? And
Well, it's great for the fans and for the kids, too.
yeah, it is. You don't have to travel a whole lot. Like Sam was saying, we're an hour, and I think South Dearborn might be an hour and 20, but that's not terrible.
You win a conference, you get another trophy to put in your case.
Absolutely, that's what it's all about there. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
How long have you been coaching sports at CHS?
Well, I started at CHS. I started in '96 coaching
You were just
track.
a kid then.
Yeah, I started in the middle school in '93. This is my 30th year of track.
Okay.
If you count middle school.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. You've had some good help along the way.
Had some great help. Very good people. Really enjoyed all the people that I've coached over the years. It's really been enjoyable.
You've seen some great players.
Had some really good kids.
Yes.
Have some really strong kids now. Yeah, we've had kids that have gone on to college to run track and field, and we got 2 pole vaulters from last year that now Brooks Sudoff and Braden Jones are pole vaulting for colleges, and
Great.
so yeah, we've had a lot of success with those type of kids.
What are some of the events in track and field?
Well, since I see we have 24 minutes, there's 16. How about that?
Okay.
There are 16. There's the 5 field events: pole vault, long jump, high jump, shot and disc. There's 2 hurdle events: the high hurdles and lows. The 110s are for the boys, the 100s for the girls, 300 for the both boys and girls. The 100-meter dash, 200-meter dash, 400, 800, 1600, 3200, and then there's 3 relays: 4x800, 4x400, and 4x100. So 16.
Which one is the best one for you?
Well, I coach the sprinters, so the 4x1 is probably one of my favorites. I like the 100, the 200. I like to watch the kids I train run.
When they throw that ball, does that ever get out of control? I mean, does
Yeah,
the spectators
sometimes.
scramble sometimes?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you a good story here. Probably 15, 20 years ago, maybe. We used to host the regional, the track and field regional. They would come from Center Grove, Warren Central. They would all come here. And a kid from Center Grove, I think, the technique is to kind of spin. Well, if you know where our shot is, right by, there's a fence. Well, the spectators always are hanging on that fence. Well, this kid held on to it too long, threw it off the fence. I don't know who, somebody's dad, I think, had his hands like intertwined in the fence. Shot right there. So yeah.
That hurt.
So the answer is yeah. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it does.
Well, that's interesting. I know
Yeah.
it's a fun sport for.
It is a fun. It's a lot of fun.
The nice thing about track and field to me is that it's not subjective. It's time and distance.
Yeah, I have come to believe that too. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about that. There's no subjectivity really. You know, either you're faster than me or I'm faster than you. And there's like this weekend we're going to Greenfield Central for an invite. I can only enter 2 kids. Well, it's not difficult for me because here's the fastest kid, there's a second. So, you know, so there's not a lot of subjectivity, I guess you'd say.
No one holding up scorecards or whatever.
No, there's no gymnastics, subjectivity there. No,
or
either
diving or.
no, either you.
And that's
you
not
beat the
taking
kid.
anything away from
No,
those,
no,
but
it's just different. It's
you
different.
just the lay person can see whether or not they've won.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't need to know. You just need to look at the stopwatch.
What makes a good athlete for track and field?
A lot of it depends on what the event is.
Okay.
Obviously, sprinting, fast twitch muscle, kids that are explosive. Distance kids takes a lot of dedication, a lot of training. Shot put and discus, those kids takes a lot of strength, of course. So there are different factors depending on what the event is.
You urge the youth that you're working with to participate in the sports?
Oh, absolutely. I believe you need to be a multi-sport athlete. So many kids today get stuck in one sport and then, sometimes doesn't pan out. And also repetition injuries. When you do one thing over and over and over again, you're more likely to be injured. You do different things. You do soccer, you do track, you do golf, whatever. You're still getting those movement patterns down, but you're not doing the same movement pattern to say you would shoot a basketball 1,000 times or whatever.
Okay. So soccer, what's coming up for Connorsville in the soccer season?
Well, we just, I had my assistant coach while I'm in track. He was doing some off-season stuff, and we just kind of ended that. And we're waiting, June, we'll start our summer program, and then in August, we'll start playing again. We do 2 or 3 days a week during the summer, and we'll go Well, just the other day, the Franklin County coach texted me about scrimmaging. We'll go do that. We play sometimes in tournaments. So we get a little mixture of some skills and drills over the summer and some play.
Well, your season started in August?
The girls' soccer will start. We'll start in the beginning of August.
And how long will it last?
Hopefully to the middle of October. If we do well, last year it lasted till the middle of October, which meant we'd won the sectional.
Yes.
And, so hopefully that's our goal every year. So we'll see.
Maybe I'll make it back out there.
Where anytime that's an open invitation, you have a place on the bench.
I appreciate that.
You want to come out to a track meet? I'll sit you on the timer stand too. So.
Okay. Not today.
No, actually, I just found out the middle school meet for tonight was canceled. It's May 1st, but it seems like March 1st there.
It does, and it's supposed to get better towards the end of the week.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
hopefully you can get some events in.
Hopefully tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's our senior night. So hopefully it'll be at least runnable tomorrow.
Who do you entertain tomorrow?
Hagerstown tomorrow for senior night. Yeah. 5 o'clock senior night starts, and then meet at 5:30.
How long, if somebody wanted to come out and watch, how long does a meet last? Typically, I mean, I know it's got to vary.
Well, typically, a dual meet like tomorrow night will last a couple hours. We'll start at 5:30, and we'll go about 45 minutes of field events, and then we'll start running at 6:15. Usually, probably by around 8 o'clock or so, it'll be over.
All sports ticket gets you in?
All sports ticket gets you in, yep, absolutely.
If not, it's inexpensive.
If not, I think it's $5 or $6. Yeah, it's a good time.
High
if you
school
haven't.
sports, probably the best value as far as entertainment and for what you have to pay to see it.
I agree 100% with you.
Do the middle school youngsters run the same events as the varsities?
Yes and no. They only run 14. They run basically everything, but they don't run the 2 mile. They don't run the 3,200, and they don't run the 300 hurdles. But everything else is the same. They do all the field events and all the other run events except the 300 hurdles and the 3,200. Just a little. The 300 meter hurdles at that age is just a little long, and of course 3,200 is 2 miles. That's might be a little long for them too. I think that's why they don't.
Right.
Don't want to put you on the spot, but you said senior night tomorrow night. Can you name the seniors? I hate to do that to you.
Sam, I knew you were going to do that.
How many seniors do you have?
13.
Well, I won't.
And because I just bought them all gifts, so I made sure that we had them. But I would hate to start.
I don't want you to leave anybody out.
I appreciate that. I do.
But 13. So
13.
come out and support them
Yeah, they're
tomorrow
great kids. It's a great group. Some of the most dedicated kids I think I've ever had in 30 years. I mean, these kids like it. They love track and field. They're into it. They know, what other kids are running, what they have to do to win, and it's fun. I really enjoy this group.
That can be contagious for the younger ones.
It can be. It certainly can be. Some of my seniors are kind of doing what I like as far as being leaders too. They'll take a kid that is just maybe new into that event and give them a little advice and be that leader. So, this senior group is one of my favorites.
Great.
That's what seniors are supposed to do. Is sort
of Fran, that's what seniors are supposed to do.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. Now, I've been in this game long enough too that not every class has those strong leaders, but this class certainly does.
Well, that's priceless if you've got strong leaders.
It absolutely is. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. But, any of these kids going to college?
Carter DeBoer is going to go run track at Hanover.
Okay.
The rest, I don't know that they'll continue on, but he's one that I know is going on to run. He's going to do sprints and long jump, and I don't know. They may have him do the 400 when he gets there, but he's one of those kids that I was kind of mentioning there, along with the seniors. He loves it. He's into it. He knows all the stats. He wants that extra practice. So he's a good kid.
Kids that want that extra practice probably do well in the classroom as well.
Oh, there's absolutely a correlation. Kids that are driven in sports are, I mean, there's study after study that shows that they achieve in the classroom as well. So, yeah, there's no doubt.
And getting to go to Hanover, that's a great school.
Oh, so,
and,
yeah, for sure.
Not too far away, but great education he can receive along with doing his track as well.
Along with the memories you're going to make being a college athlete. I think that's a pretty special thing, really.
Sure is.
It's great to have someone like that leading your team, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. My three captains do a good job. The girl captains do a good job. I'm very fortunate in that aspect.
Sure.
You can mention their names. I'm sure you can.
I can mention Owen Baker and Parker Sweet and Carter and Caitlin Seeley, Rakaya, and Paige Rakaya Dixon and Paige Daffler are my three captains for the girls. Yeah, all three good leaders.
What's the captain's job?
Well, to kind of mentor, kind of mentor kind of do things like make sure that the hurdles are set up, make sure that, I kind of put them in, they're like assistant coaches, I guess, make sure that, stuff gets done. I kind of go through them to get stuff done, and they do a nice job of directing the others to get those things accomplished.
Do you have an assistant coach?
Yeah, there's several. We don't really look at ourselves as like the head coach and assistant coach. We do things like we break down into, like I'm the sprint coach. Ron Paxson, pole vault and mid-distance. Jacob Kirchhoff does the distance kids. Tim O'Rourke does the hurdlers and high jumpers. Dennis Perkins, Macaulay Vessels are in charge of disc and shot. So we don't look at it as like I have assistant coaches. We all are, we're all together doing, our parts coming together, and that's kind of how we like to do it.
That's great that they work like that.
Yeah, we've done that for years. Even back when I first started with Steve Clemmy, we'd always have, somebody in charge of every event, and we just kind of do our own thing and then kind of get together and decide how we're going to put the meet together, and it works pretty well usually.
A lot of familiar names there, guys and gals that have been around a while.
They've been. Dennis Perkins has been there as long as I have. Coach Paxson, Coach Vessels, they also coach football. Coach Kirchhoff has been. He's a young guy, but he's been there 2 or 3 years. Coach O'Rourke's been around for a while, so we have we'll call it a veteran staff.
That's good. They've seen it all.
They've seen a lot, for sure, for sure.
A veteran staff that works very well together.
I like to think so. Yeah, we get along pretty well.
Any of these folks help you in soccer?
No, they don't. I have one assistant that helps in soccer. Zach Morgan. He used to help in with hurdles and track, but he recently took a job that doesn't allow that. So, but he does help me in soccer.
What about in the winter? What do spring and fall sports athletes do in the winter? Well,
a lot of kids, especially distance kids that don't have a winter sport, we train. We start in, like Coach Kirchhoff will have them in December, January, start running again and just building a base for the season. A lot of them, honestly, we have a lot of 2 and 3 sport athletes. So a lot of them swim or play basketball or different things in the wintertime.
You put the field house to use?
Yeah, we do. That's a luxury. That's nice. We started in December, long jumping and vaulting and high jumping. We did some sprint work, some basic stuff in there. So yeah, that's a very useful tool to us.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. Before that,
we were in the hallway by the old gym.
I remember. Yes.
Getting shin splints a lot, and but the field house has been a good resource for us.
Most schools have a field house now. We were kind
of late. Yeah, a lot of them are getting a field house now. I think if I recall, I think Batesville just got one. Greensburg has one. East Central has one. So
South Dearborn, I think, in the last few years.
have they? Yeah. So it's becoming more
Sure.
common.
Almost a have to, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a good facility to train in for sure.
Sure.
I mean, in bad weather, and if you want to be competitive, you need to. Yeah, I would say it's almost a have to.
I look at it as a quality of life type thing that if we want to attract people to our town, attract businesses here, that if you have good athletic facilities, good school facilities, that helps make the decision for people to come here.
Yeah, I think that's probably true.
Well, that's the main thing. I mean, parents look for their children's benefit, what's going to help them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Keep track of the academics, do you?
Yeah, yeah, we do. Keep track with, it's all on computer now. I don't know exactly how, there's a button I hit, but yeah, I can look up everybody's grades and keep track of them, which is useful because really we're supposed to be student athletes, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
I think that's important. You know, you got to get on somebody once in a while, and thankfully, even though we have 60, 70 kids, I don't have to do that a lot. Most kids that are on the track team pretty solid academically.
So you don't have, but you can counsel them if they do need some
I
help.
can, yes. I can look their grades up, and I do on occasion.
Sure.
Yeah.
And encourage them.
Being at the high school, you get to see them all every day.
I
too.
see them, and if I don't, it also has their schedule right there by their grades, so I can go visit them. I know how to get to
Right.
those rooms, yeah.
Great.
When you're not coaching, what do you do at CHS?
I'm a physical education teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, we do a lot of swimming, and
The
right now we're
old-fashioned-
doing pickleball.
Old-fashioned gym teacher, is that what you?
No, I'm a little more modern.
Oh, okay.
I know that. Yeah,
That's okay. You can
it's
change the name. That's okay.
Yeah, okay. We do some more less traditional stuff. We work out. We do some workouts. We do a
Yes.
lot of that stuff. We're playing pickleball right now, badminton.
Okay.
A lot of racket sports in the spring, but yeah, that's a lot of fun too. I enjoy doing that.
How are you at pickleball?
Well, right now, there's a couple of my students just beat me, which doesn't set very well with me, but we'll get them back tomorrow.
Seems like all ages are liking that game.
They love that. It's a lifetime sport. I mean, you know, you see people from all ages out at the park when it's
Right.
nice. Yeah, it's a sport you can play. Well, basically till however old you want to get out there. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, for sure.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
You sort of stand there, don't you, and wait for the
You
ball
don't
to
have.
come
There's not a ton of movement. It's not like tennis where you have to move a whole
Okay.
lot. But
Yeah.
there's a little bit of movement, but it's minimal, I guess.
It's a fun sport to take
It's great. Oh, I love it.
It's fun to
playing it.
watch.
It is fun to watch, especially at a high level, for sure.
Yes. Yeah. What's on the agenda for your next practice?
Well, tonight's pre-meet, so that
Okay.
means for my group, that means start block work, it means handoff work, and then some stretching afterwards. So the day before meet, we take it pretty light
Okay.
to save our legs, and that's usually our pre-meet. So we have senior night tomorrow, so our pre-meet stuff will be that.
Is the sectional right around the corner?
The sectional is the 16th and the 18th, and we host the sectional.
Great.
The girls are the 16th and the boys are the 18th. Yeah, so encourage everybody to come out and look, see what we got to offer. I think we're pretty good sectional wise. I'm hoping that we can pull it off.
What schools?
Well, Richmond is probably our Hagerstown, Richmond, probably our biggest competition this year. We just went to a meet in Eaton, Ohio a couple weeks ago. Richmond boys beat us by like 7 points or so. But we can tweak some things around and maybe get them, but they're pretty good. Richmond girls also are pretty good. So
You know, I love beating Richmond, no matter the sport.
you and I both, Sam. You and I both.
The two R's, Richmond and
Richmond and
Rushville.
Rushville, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Sam will change one of these days.
No, I don't think
I
so.
doubt if Sam
Oh,
will
really?
change. No, I doubt if Sam will change. I've known Sam a while. I don't think he'll probably change.
We had some big news. I like to switch gears here a little bit. We had some big news out of the athletic department this past week when Shayna was hired as a new girls head basketball coach. And congratulations to her. She's an alumni, an Indiana All-Star. She brings a lot to the table, I think, and really excited for her. And of course, they had a big banquet the other night, and she's on the silver anniversary team, so she's had a heck of a week.
Yeah, good for her. Good for her. We're excited to welcome her.
Yeah, so I know that's the sport I love, and I'll be following that very closely. But it's just really nice to have someone of her caliber step up and get that job.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Was she and Andrea on the same team?
Mm-hmm.
Were they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes, they were. I think they both graduated the same year. But, that was back really when the girls put Connersville Lady Spartan basketball.
Right.
We were well known around the state with that group. But,
the 1990s up in there?
Yeah, well, Shayna graduated in 98, and of course made the Indiana All-Star team that year. Beth Windhorst, and I'll leave some out, but Andrea King, Andrea Van Meter, Shayna. April was a junior that year. Just a lot of, I'm trying to think of some others. Ashley Gordon. We had some tall girls then.
Okay,
and
that's the key to basketball, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. It's a lot easier when you got a little size.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, it's good to know we've got those kind of folks.
Yeah.
Here
So I just wanted to bring that up, and we can get back to other things. But while I was thinking of it, I wanted to, as part of the cast here at TV3, I want to congratulate her and the community on her being chosen.
Well, wish her well and everything. Mm-hmm. It's a big job, isn't it, Jeff?
I'm sure it is. Yeah, it certainly is. Whenever you take over a program, there's a lot of moving pieces and parts. So, yep, good luck to her. I'm sure she'll do great.
I imagine they'll be working hard during the summer.
I would imagine, yeah. Generally, that's camp time and time to go play and do some stuff with your girls for sure.
Players made in the off season, they say.
And that's what they say, yeah. Then
as we near the start of the season, which is probably 6 months away, they start early in November.
Mm-hmm. I had to count in my head the other day. I think it's
the number of days.
Yeah, about 186 days now, I believe.
It'll be here before you know it.
It will be. Yeah. It will be. And instead of talking about, we'll be talking about cold again, because it's cold today here, the first day of May, but early November when they start, it'll be cold again. So.
Yeah. Well, some big changes coming around at CHS, so everyone's excited, I think, about it.
I'm sure.
Everything. New railings at the bowl, which will make it easier for folks to come to watch the Spartans in person.
Yeah, I saw pictures in the News Examiner. It looks pretty nice. I haven't been up there to see it. But, there again, a local businessman stepped up, and local organizations came together to help pay for that. And Chase McCombs, with his expertise in metalworking and construction, made all of those. And it's good to see that work stay locally.
It all goes into cooperation, huh, Jeff?
Yeah.
Without that, you can't go anywhere.
What's that?
I say without cooperation.
No, you can't go anywhere. You cannot go anywhere. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Well, get warm and get your kids warmed up.
We will. I'll get them warmed up for sure.
Okay, win some meets here. And,
well, we hope to. We hope to.
Take the sectional championship and keep going.
All right.
Get that conference championship as well.
Yeah, that'd be great. That was one of our preseason things. We'll see if we can get that done.
Great.
Thanks, Jeff.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everybody, for watching this edition of the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3. Have a nice evening.